everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Alexandra here. Today we are going to do our August flip through and our September plan with me, and based on your votes, the September plan with me theme is going to be city skylines, and I can't wait to show you what I've come up with for that. Here is our flip through of August with the flamingo theme. That's been working out pretty well so far. And here are some of the weeklies. And I still have yet to do the last week of August. And then we have our taking stock page. So September was a city skyline theme, and I wanted to go with a more vintage vibe. I was actually inspired by a print that I found online, and I loved the colors. So these are the colors that I'm going to be using. You can see I started sketching out some ideas here. So we're going to do a blush in 772, like a copper, I think it's actually pale cherry in 912. Then we have opal in 910. Then we have baby yellow in 090. Then we have avocado in 098. And then we have two grays. We have the cool gray in N60. And then the cool gray 1 in N95. So these are going to be the colors that we're going to be using for September. Again, I loved this vintage look to it with the buildings. It is kind of an homage to New York specifically, because that's like the area that I'm from. But I also love this layout because the colors are also very reminiscent of fall, which I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how this all comes together. As you can see, I started sketching here a little bit. So the font is going to be super simple, not so much cursive or anything like that. Mood tracker, memory is the same thing. We are going to do a Dutch door for September. It's going to be a horizontal Dutch door with the skyline on the bottom, and let's get started. I'm really excited for this one. In addition to the Tombow colors, I'm going to be using my Pigma Micron 08 for the font, and I'm probably going to be using the Micron PN. It's kind of in between a 03 and a 04 size, and most likely the Copic multi-liner in the 0.1 for the fine lines for the buildings and such. So let's get started, and I am really excited to tackle this theme, and I can't wait to see how it comes out. So let's get started. So first up is the cover page, and this was inspired by a image that I found based on a Pottery Barn print, and I was drawn to it because I loved the colors. I loved that it reminded me of autumn in the city, and I just really felt like it set the tone for what I wanted my bullet journal to evoke for a new season. And so the colors really speak to that. And so the technique that I'm using here is, before I put anything in ink, I go over it with the Tombows first. So I have everything drawn out in pencil, and I just shade in the different buildings in the various colors. The reason why I do this is that when I go back with the ink, there is less risk of smudging. A lot of people, the common mistake that is made is that if they ink first and then go over it with the Tombow dual brush marker, it will smear and smudge. So by applying the color down onto the paper first and then outlining all the details later with the pen, you avoid that risk of smudge and smearing in your bullet journal. So that is really the only reason why that I did that. I ended up using the Tombow Fudenoske brush pen for all of the detailing because it's really easy to go from a thicker to a thinner line with just one pen. And because this was kind of tedious to begin with, I felt like it was easy for me to just apply more pressure if I needed it to look a little bolder, or, kind of not press down so much if I wanted a more fine line. So I ended up using the Tombow Fudenoske brush pen for all of the details that you see here. Another reason why I really love this layout is because anybody can really recreate this. All it really takes is, just basic knowledge of basic shapes, and it's just amazing that if you just apply different knowledge of shapes and then outlining and stuff, you can really create a beautiful work of art. And I think this is why this theme really spoke to me rather well. It's just amazing what you can do with just simple shapes. I apologize for my head being in the frame, but when I'm focused, I guess I tend to lean forward more, so I apologize if the image goes out of focus a little bit. But yes, I just use the various Tombow colors and go over it with the Tombow Fudenoske pen and just watch the image come to life. It's pretty neat. Next is my monthly layout, and I have to say that the fact that September begins on a Sunday is so nice because all the boxes work out perfectly as far as nice rows, and there's no like indentation, of if it starts as opposed to on like a Wednesday or Thursday. So it's always very nice when that happens. So I did your traditional calendar layout. Each box is 7 dots across by 6 dots high. I decided to write in the dates. I used my Tombow Fudenoske pen and drew black circles, and then I went over it with my Uniball Signo white pen to write in all the numbers. For this, as I mentioned earlier, all of the font is pretty much your standard print. I do here and there add a little, cursive, but I wanted to just keep it very true to the aesthetic of just kind of this vintage New York vibe, just very simple, and I really relish the simplicity of this, so I kind of wanted to stay true to that. As you see here, I outline each box in the different colors, and I do include on the lower left-hand corner a little vignette of more buildings and the various colors. And then on the lower right, I have a spot to just write down all of my goals for the month. And so again, I'm really happy with how this came out and how it incorporates the theme and just really sets the tone for the new month. So here is my mood tracker memories page, and this was the page, the mood tracker that I had the most difficulty coming up with. At first I was going to do 30 different buildings and shade them in, and I said that's not going to work. So what I decided to do was to make the windows, draw 30 windows within one building and have that act as my way to track my moods. And then on the top tier is where I wrote down the moods with the corresponding colors. So I figured this is going to be a great way to track my moods and still incorporate the theme. So next up, we have my gratitude and affirmations page. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that for the past couple of months, these two pages have gone hand in hand, and I've kept these super simple, and I just love the simplicity of it. This month, I just added a quote on the bottom that writes, "It is not happy people who are thankful, it is thankful people who are happy." And I just felt that that was very fitting for this two-page spread. And again, I kept it really simple, and it's been working out great for me. So for the month of September, I decided to do a horizontal Dutch door because I just felt that it would be more, it'll be better suited for the theme if I did it horizontally, so that way I could include my little skyline on the bottom. And again, I love how simple this layout was to do. It looks like it's very involved, but it's really not. And so again, as with the whole entire theme, I just change up the colors. I add in the little details within the buildings. And then on the bottom of this little vignette where you see the little New York City taxi cab go by, I wrote "Concrete Jungle Where Dreams Are Made Of." That is from the Alicia Keys song Empire State of Mind, and I thought again that was also very fitting for the New York vibe I have going on for September. So I just loved that. The idea just popped in my head. I'm like, you know what, I just gotta like include that somewhere. And again, the great thing about the Dutch door is that as I turn the page for each of the weeks, that image on the bottom will always remain. So it's pretty neat. That's why I love doing the Dutch door. So on the left-hand side on the top, you're going to see I am going to draw 30 boxes to track the monthly weather. That's something that I do from month to month. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to do my master to-do list for the whole entire month of September. So that way, within my weeklies, I don't have to worry about writing a section for my to-dos or to make sure to include the weather every day, because there's already going to be a spot designated in my layout. So I kind of have more freedom to play around with how I want to structure my weeklies. So I felt like this worked out very well for me. If you don't track the weather, you could do habit trackers, a quote page. The possibilities are really endless. And last but not least, I did the first week of September, and for this one I kept it really simple. 8 boxes, 7 days of the week, plus a place for my meals, and just drew it in cursive, and I called it a day, and this layout took me maybe 3 minutes to make. So here is the final flip through of all of my September pages. I really had so much fun creating this, and I love, love, love how this came together. This might be one of my favorite themes of all time. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the description box below. I have all of my supplies linked in my Amazon shop. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.